Hey folks, I'm Tom Vassell, and a Merry Christmas to you all. Here we are today talking about 12 great strategy board games that we recommend that you buy for that person who you're shopping for who is definitely not you. Or you can put these on that list for the people who are shopping for you. I like strategy in games. These are games that have a lot of cool strategy, a lot of great things. We have picked some good ones for you. But before we get into these games, I do want to direct you to, when you're done with this video, to click the link in the description below, which will take you to watch some crazy folks playing a board game underwater with sharks, and then comment on that video. The reason you would want to comment on that is because you will win a trip to go see these people. Well, one person will win a trip. You'll be notified in the comments there if you've won. Otherwise, you might also win a game from the one of these lists we're talking about. But you will win a trip for 3 days and 2 nights to go and record with Above Board TV. Have you not heard of Above Board TV? Well, that's the channel that this video is part of. And they do all sorts of different things. They do really funny skits. If you saw some of the skits that they did during the Dice Tower Awards this year, they were there. Travis, who was on that, was just a few weeks ago with us giving a top 10 memorable game experiences. And some of them were directly caused by the shenanigans I tell you that this channel gets up to. You want to see funny stuff, you want to have a great time, check out Above Board TV. The link below to that shark video is just the beginning of everything that's going on there. But you're also here to see some strategy games. So we got 12 of them to talk to you about. Here we go.
All right, let's start off this strategy games list with After Us. After Us is a game that is going to bring people's memories to Planet of the Apes. In After Us, this is a post-apocalyptic time where humans are gone and the apes have kind of taken over, and much of what they've done is learned from humans based upon the artifacts that have been left behind. The idea behind the game is that you are playing cards out in a bit of a row in front of you, and you can put them out in any order you want. On each card, on each side, you have these different symbols. And so what you're trying to do is match these symbols up together between these cards, and then you're going to be going from top to bottom, left to right, and collect resources, perhaps spend resources to get points, things along those lines. It's also a bit of a deck building game, meaning that your starting hand of cards are going to be growing through the game, and you're going to be getting better and better primates into your deck that are going to be more powerful, allow you to do other things. You're going to have particular powers that you can use throughout the game that really just kind of amp it up. It's a very stunning looking game, beautiful art by Vincent Dutray, and just a satisfying comboific type of a game that is After Us.
And up next, let's talk about Ancient Knowledge. This is a card-driven game, pretty much just cards, in which you are attempting to have your history be remembered. And you will do that by rescuing that history from cards you play. Mechanically, that means you have a giant deck of cards, all of which do their own thing and are distinct. You will play those as you manage your hand, and every round at the end of your turn, all of these cards will shift over one space as the passage of time is simulated, and eventually they fall off the edge of the track and are forgotten by history. So before that card falls off the end, you need to rescue these tokens that go on them that represent this knowledge, this ancient knowledge. If you rescue those and keep them, then you have salvaged that knowledge. If they fall off and there's still some of those tokens on there, that's lost forever. That is the basic idea. But like I said, every card in the game does something interesting and distinct. And the combinations of those things, cards that you can keep in the middle of your player board, which are active for the rest of the game and inform your strategy even further. The game has a lot of moving parts and a lot of interesting things you can pursue. What do you play? How do you play it? When do you choose to replace one card with another? Do you play cards that are going to fall off the track very soon and so you need to react to them quickly? Or do you play some that are going to be along the track for a long time and therefore give you their benefit for a much longer time? It's sort of building an engine that you know is going to decay and trying to patch it up and replace it as best as you can while it decays in front of you. A lovely exercise, a lovely game. That's ancient knowledge.
Our next recommendation for a strategy game is going to be Archeos Society. Now, this game is kind of a spiritual successor or 2.0 to Ethnos. It removes the area control, though, and puts in some tracks. So you're going to go through and do some set collection. One thing I love about this game is at the beginning, you really get to customize that experience. It comes with a whole lot of different people or adventurers here that you're going to choose in order to go on this expedition. So you're choosing those, you shuffle it up and you make a deck. From there, the players are individually set collecting and playing them out in their tableau, hoping to get the maximum group together in order to maximize the scoring. What it's also doing is when they play those sets together, they get to move up one of 6 different tracks that are out. Each of these tracks are a little bit different. Some of them you want to move as far up to maximize the points. Others, there's kind of a sweet spot. You might want to be right in the middle. Others are just going to give you power or points, different things like that. So you're really looking for this good synergy between the explorers that you're playing down, the sets that you're collecting, and the tracks that you're trying to move up. So for a good strategy game, maybe they like Ethnos or looking for something a little bit different, or maybe they're appealed to this theme. But we recommend Archeos Society.
Next up is Bamboo. Now this is a cute little Euro game that's all about Zen. It's about balance in life. And you are this little family and you're going throughout the year. So you have to fill your home with nice, warm, cozy items and make sure that they balance on both sides and meet certain objectives, while at the same time you're using this cute little action selection of using the bamboo. And there's a little bit of area majority going on. There's some power-ups. There's some cool things. So it's just one of those like very serene, zen-y, quick Euro.
Now this one is a strategy game that caught my eye because it looks great on the table, and that is Bonsai. Bonsai, everyone will agree it looks good, but with the better a game looks, I'm wondering is the game actually good? This one's actually good. It's a very simple game where you're building a bonsai tree, and you get to build the wood up, and then you've got the leaves, you've also got fruit, you've got flowers, and everything has their own rules about where they can be placed. And then on top of that, you've got scoring cards that you're going to want to do different things, put the fruit in different places. You're going to want to build a bonsai tree that goes around and kind of dips down past the vase or the jar that it's in, and it's just like, which did not know was possible, by the way. I knew so little about bonsai trees apparently, but it's really fun, and it's one of those that it's fun afterwards to take that picture and say, huh, I made that. And it's enjoyable because there's a lot of strategy in putting everything there, and then you're also going to build up your in-game scoring over there as well. So you can go several different ways, like focus on the tree, focus on in-game scoring, focus on these things out here. And then it's got that one part where I always feel like it ends a little bit too early, to the point to where I thought, should I make it longer? But you don't. You want it to end right there, because that makes you want to play it again and try a different strategy. And your strategy will change because the in-game conditions change, or the actual scoring conditions change, and the cards that come out. But again, it's one of those that it's really fun. It's a strategy game, but it's light rule-wise and looks great on the table. And that is Bonsai.
Another strategy game that we're going to recommend here is Cosmoctopus. What an interesting and unique theme, right? I mean, it's like a space octopus and you're trying to reassemble him and put his limbs on. Ultimately, it's a resource management, right? So you have this shared this shared board that you're going out onto in order to collect resources, in order to have the fulfillments to complete cards in your hand. As you complete cards in your hand, it might give you a special benefit later where certain cards are cheaper. Or if you're really able to combo it together, it might give you one of those octopus limbs. First person to get 8 octopus limbs together is going to win the game. So it has an interesting board state where you're sharing this one worker and you're hoping that maybe the person before you puts the octopus right where you want it or within reach of what you're going for, and you're trying to ultimately just assemble your octopus. How cute! Check out Cosmoctopus.
If you're looking for a nice little strategy game, maybe take a look at Dice Manor. You're basically going to be building up a manor, trying to basically work against the other players to draft all these different interesting rooms to add onto your manor to kind of combo together to get the right amount of points. And you're also going to be doing tours of your manor, and different people are going to be liking to look at different styles of rooms and things like that as well. Also, you're going to be trying to advertise these manors to sell them off at the end of the game. It's definitely an interesting game of collecting different rooms, outbidding your opponents on the different stuff, and trying to get the correct ones into your building so you can have the right dice to basically make everything work together. But yeah, that is Dice Manor, another good strategy game for you to play this Christmas season.
Our next game up is Distilled. Now, in Distilled, you have inherited a distillery from a long-lost relative, and you have to try and figure out a way to craft the best spirits to make your distillery the most prominent distillery in all of things that are distilled. Now, it is a Euro game. It's got a lot of aspects to it, some tableau building, some push your luck mechanisms. It's a pretty fun strategy game and a fairly beautiful package. So go out there, and if you really love alcohol, and gosh, I know I do, try and find some time to make some with Distilled.
The next strategy game is quite a historical one. It is First in Flight. I love this theme. I love the production, and I love what you're doing in the game. You're deck building a strong deck of cards that you're going to then do a push your luck phase in, where you continue to flip cards out to try to increase how far you can fly in your powered flight vehicle, your airplane. And the player who crosses the 40-yard threshold first, well, who makes it past the longest is going to be the winner. The first person to hit 40 yards or more will be the end game triggerer, but someone else might pull off a longer flight right at the end. I really like that there's this push your luck system where you have some mechanical failures built into your deck, and as you test your flight, you might see what those failures are, send it to your garage, and fix those and make your plane better. I really like how much you can customize and the different paths that you can try to go for the victory in this one. Very interesting, and I love the look of it, the history brought into it, learning more about these different early pioneers of flight, and so I absolutely recommend First in Flight.
I get to talk to you about World Wonders. This is our next game, folks, and I love this game. I'm always kind of fascinated by wonders of the world, and this game has a whole lot of different of them, from ancient times to somewhat a little bit more modern times, and you get to build them in this game. World Wonders is a polyomino game in which you place tiles that are Tetris-looking pieces on a board to build your civilization. But sometimes they're not just a tile, they're a 3D little wooden building that looks like one of the wonders of the world. And when you're done, you look at your board and you're like, yes, that is my civilization. But also, there's some interesting strategy in this game, because when you want one of these wonders of the world, you have to spend all the rest of your actions that turn. So I might do it at the beginning because I don't want anyone else to take the Great Wall. That's what I want, or the pyramids. Those are mine. But if you wait till longer in a turn, you get to do more things before you take it. It's really cool. This game has been a resounding success to everyone I taught it to, with great production. It looks fantastic. Definitely check out World Wonders.
Up next, we've got a classic game. This is not a new game, but there's a new production of it. The game is Ra. Ra is a classic Reiner Knizia auction game with a closed economy, meaning that there are only a certain number of bid values in the game, and when you use one of those values to place a bid, it now is not in your hand anymore. You're going to take what was on the board before. So that's a very clever system in and of itself. What you're trying to do is claim tiles that might have a bit of a set collection type of an element to them. There's a push your luck element to the game, which is very, very strong. Ra has been around for a long time. It's been very popular for a long time. We're talking about it now because it has a beautiful new edition from 25th Century Games that shows all of the respect for the source material. Beautiful, beautiful production. Fantastic game. That is Ra.
Last up in our strategy games list is Spellbook. Now, this is by one of my favorite designers, Phil Walker-Harding, so of course I'm going to gush about it. But in Spellbook, you're magicians who are trying to learn spells, so you're taking these materia, you're drafting them from the board, there's different ways you can get them, and you're progressively finishing off these different colored spells. By the end of the game, someone needs to complete all of them or to complete another track of just collecting materia, and as you do so, they give you little powers. So maybe you can draw more materia, maybe you can do extra things on cards. There's just a lot of fun stuff going on, and I think that it is clean, it's cool, and there's a lot of variety to the setup. So lots of fun. Spellbook, check it out.
Thanks for watching another video in our series of the 12 Games of Christmas. A couple things before we go out. First of all, we've mentioned lots of different things that you can get here, and there's board games and all sorts of stuff, and we checked to make sure that these were available online. So we checked at the different online game stores like Game Nerds, we checked the publisher sites themselves, and we checked Amazon. And in fact, if they're available on Amazon, we have those links in the description. You just go right there and buy them. And if you do that, anything, when you buy there, or if you buy other stuff too, that helps us here at the Dice Tower. So keep that in mind. Also, don't forget our sponsor, Above Board TV. Go check out their channel. Go enter the contest by commenting on that video we mentioned. And as a side note, this contest is available only to those in the U.S. now for different reasons. But even if you're from all over the world, you can at least go check out their content and laugh as they play board games in fun and weird ways. Anyway, folks, thanks so much for watching these. I hope these lists are a help to you. Check out the other 9 videos. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and this is the 12 Games of Christmas of 2023 on the Dice Tower.